They said it would never happen, but we're back. Better than ever. MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance. Tim Wood, Bill Bryant, Hector Longo, and you along for the ride. Gentlemen, how are you?
So we're MVC Gridiron Weekly, and we're Technotronic in 2019. Is that what we are, Tim?
We are techno. That is the deal.
And we are all in undisclosed locations. Nearby.
So
that's because they won't let you out of the Methuen, Bill. But other than that,
a little different setup this year. A little different setup. We are going 3 wide on the Skype setup. Want to thank Costa Eagle Media, Pat Costa, Lou Blasi, all the folks over there for all the fine work they did. I had some health issues that forced me to think of some other alternatives, and so we decided that we would attempt a home studio setup, a professional home studio setup. So that's what we're doing. So, gentlemen, it's been too long. I wanted to get the techno music going. You know, the woo 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 woo.
It's only been 40 weeks, Tim. That's it. Not counting anything.
No, not counting. So, quiet opener in terms of all the MVC teams being able to play, huh?
Staggered start. I think that kind of, not everybody had the same opening day, combined with the Tripoli/West Nile virus issues, and that's kind of made it a strange opening weekend.
It has. It turned all of the much of the Friday night starts on the 495 side of the MVC into Saturday afternoon starts, which, in a way, I know it was raining, but in a way it was kind of cool. It was kind of staggered starts, so you had Methuen, Lawrence, Central Catholic, and Haverhill all playing yesterday. A lot of crazy games. Let's just set the table real quick here. We're going to have Central Catholic captain Mark Cassis on. 52-42 win yesterday over Springfield Central, the defending Division III state champs. They beat Tewksbury last year. They're number 1 in the Mass Live rankings heading into this year. Central Catholic, crazy start to the season. Just an amazing start to the season for them. We'll talk to Mark. Lowell with a great start to the season. A lot of buzz around the Bill Ricca team coming into the season. Lowell got the job done in convincing fashion, 33-21 over Bill Ricca Friday night. We will have the head coach from Lowell on with us, John Florence. And then, listen, an interesting tweak to the deal this year. We're going to have video in the mix this year, so you will be able to see video as we get this up and running. So let's kind of set the table here, guys. As I said, Central Catholic 52-42 winners over Springfield Central yesterday. Sophomore first-year starter Aiden Pereira, Jared Silverio transferred out. Aiden Pereira gets the start. If he had butterflies, guys, you wouldn't know it. 6 touchdowns in total, 223 through the air, 73 on the ground. Just an insane game for Pereira. 3 touchdowns rushing, 277 passing. Central jumped out quick. Central Catholic jumped out quick. Springfield Central came back, got it within a touchdown a couple times, and then the Raiders held on, Hector.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a surprise, hanging 50 in the first week. Just a huge win for them against the Springfield Central team that beat Tewksbury in the D3 state title game last year, a team that knocked off Everett in their opener, had a game under its belt, which is very big for high school teams, especially with the later start and the slower beginning to the practice schedule in the preseason. That extra game is huge, and that was a message Central sent, Bill. I was stunned by it. Honest to God, I think you would have to say that Springfield Central was favored in that game, and for Central Catholic to put up those numbers with the first-year starting quarterback was pretty impressive.
Absolutely an opening statement for Central. I definitely went into that week coming off the Everett win for Springfield Central. I did not expect that. Nor did I expect 95 points being scored in a football game like that. But you're absolutely right. That was definitely a shocker.
And we can get into that later, but about the points. But the clock system is going to allow these shootouts to last long and longer and longest. The way they have put this together now, high school games are going to last an eternity. I'm just going to gripe at some point about it, but I'll let it go. We'll settle, we can talk about the positives. I don't want to be negative in the first 6 minutes of the show. Let's stay positive for at least the first 15. So very impressive win. I don't think the Raiders they just seem to find these skill kids that make plays, these playmakers. Mark Cassis, Mark Torelli,
Jermaine 41 touchdown.
It's fine. All these skill kids were making plays. And,
Jermaine Wiggins.
I do have a word for that, though. It's called depth.
Yeah, right. I thought you were going with another word, Bill, but at this point in time.
It's a family show.
It's going to be the time of Bill Bryant this show season.
So Jermaine Wiggins Jr. got his first ever touchdown reception as well. He had 4 catches, 63 yards. Just a dominating game for the Raiders. Springfield Central beat Everett by 4 touchdowns a week ago, and now Central Catholic's beating up on Springfield Central. It was crazy indeed. So that's kind of the headline grabber in terms of our first week of games. Tewksbury, we mentioned them, went to the state title against Springfield Central. They opened their season 32-6 over Needham on Friday night. They played a Friday night game. So Needham actually started the scoring, and then it was all Tewksbury from there. Shane Aylward, we've talked to him many times. He scored the game's next 3 touchdowns, 12 and 4-yard runs in the first and second quarters, and then took the opening kickoff of the second half for 90 yards. Ryan Rometta is the new quarterback in Tewksbury. He had a very commendable start for the Redmen. 9 of 12, 132 yards. Tewksbury 297 total yards of offense, with 165 on the ground, led by Kalu Olu. Does that sound about right, Hector? Kalu Olu.
I'll let you go with that. I'm not going to make that decision.
All right. So,
but the more things change, the more they stay the same in Tewksbury, right? I mean, they don't have the depth that Bill might have talked about, but they seem to just reload. That's the system, man. And it's a credit to them out of the gate again. Like you said, 32-6. That's not
We're here with Coach Tom Ryan. Coach, can you talk about today's opening day victory?
Obviously a great victory, represented the city pretty well on the home turf. We scored 47 points, and our offense did really well, but we still made a lot of mistakes, which I got to fix as a staff has to fix going forward. Defensively, it wasn't our best effort either, so we know we can improve tremendously in that area. So we need a hard week of practice to take on Tewksbury next week.
Nice. You want to talk about a few players who stood out for us tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Romano was exceptional in defense, but we need him to be. Kareem Coleman was a force on offense. Of course, our quarterback, Connor Bryant. Nick Matthew had a great day on both sides of the ball. Kind of his first game really starting. Had a big catch, big interception, bunch of awesome blocks in the perimeter, which is what we really try to preach with our wide receivers. So those kids did well. And, of course, the guys up front, Jordan Duran is as unsung kind of guy as you get. He had a great day, and Leslie Theodore, and our center Sam Kaliva. So we're pretty happy about what's going on, but we got to improve.
You talk about the kids' mental state playing on a Saturday as opposed to the traditional Friday here at Nicholson.
I think we've got over that. I think it was an initial shock, but at this point, you got to play anybody, anywhere, anytime. So I think we're okay with that now. If we had played immediately following that news, it might have been different, but it's been a week or two now. We've got to be used to it, so it is what it is.
Awesome. All right. Good job, Coach. Thanks.
Offense, defense, but halftime and went in, talked about it, and we got rid of those mistakes, and I thought we played pretty good in the second half.
Nice. You want to talk about the chemistry between you and some of the guys on offense?
Me and all the guys, seniors, have been playing together forever, and we lift all the time in the summer, and we all have a great bond together, so I think we're all really good friends, and that's why we play to our full capacity.
Nice. Everything you expected today?
A little bit. Defense, yeah, we could have stopped some of the touchdowns and runs, but it's mental mistakes. We're just going to get back to this field and get rid of those mental mistakes and come back for next week.
We're here with Nick Matthew. Nick, you want to talk about today's opening day win?
It was a pretty good win. We've been working hard all off-season in the weight room, on the field, so it just feels good to actually come out here and put everything together and actually get a win with the boys.
Nice. You had an interception, right?
Yes, I did.
And a big time catch?
Yeah.
Almost broke it for a touchdown?
Almost.
You want to talk about that play?
It was a crazy play. I mean, I ran a post and then I saw the ball coming and it was raining, so I was a little scared, hoping that I wouldn't drop the ball, and I caught it, and I felt a guy behind me and I just shrugged him off and then kept trying to go to the end zone. Unfortunately, I couldn't get in there, but the next play we led to a touchdown, so it felt good.
Nice. And then you want to talk about the team chemistry between you, the offense, and the guys this year?
It's been a pretty good chemistry. I mean, we're always together through practice or during school. We have all classes together, and in the weight room, we're always together somehow. So we're always connected and everything.
Video, as much post-game reaction as we can into the show. Do some videos during the week. Got a lot of things planned for this season, but having the video component here is a cool addition. So huge thanks to Matt for the work there, and Bill, you as well for getting that set up.
No problem. Heck, I do want to say, though, one of the other couple of things that was going on Saturday was I probably heard 30 people say that was the longest quarter I've ever seen. And I'm not trying to stir the pot here with you on that, but it was, and I don't think people have quite understood the rule changes and what's going on. There was a couple of intentional grounding calls yesterday that people were all up in arms about that didn't really understand. And I think also moving a bulk of these games to Saturday, that they haven't had, and there's a lot of official crews out there that are new crews because they're really stretched to the max as far as college games and other games that are going on. So it is going to be an interesting fall football season.
All right, so Phil, you flip the switch here, and I have to vent for a second, okay? They changed the rules on the timing to put 40 seconds between plays. They've gone to 12-minute quarters. They did all the things that will tick you off if you're a fan, and they didn't make the one change that they have to make, which is the ball goes out of bounds, the clock stops, but once the ball's set, it should start again. And that's going to lead to 3-hour high school games. Now, we all know what's going on in high school sports. Numbers have dropped in a lot of places. Interest is waning. There are places where they don't draw fans. The kids don't want to be involved watching their schoolmates. If you're a high school administrator, you're looking, or a coach, you're looking to do anything you can to make your school attractive to student athletes. Okay? One of the great things with doing high has over, say, some prep school is you get to wear the royal blue colors that you're sitting behind you and your friends and you're representing your city. And if they're going to do things to turn people off and make people not care about that team, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And 3-hour high school football games, which, believe me, are going to have, there was a 40-minute quarter of the game I was with in New Hampshire the other night. It's going to happen. That's just a product of this. They made these rule changes without thinking, and again, a high school used to be 2 hours tops. I'm sorry, 2 hours tops. And they really try to make it tough on people right now.
I 100% agree with you. The only unintended outcome was my concession stand that sold more product to the least amount of people. We didn't expect a ton of people on Saturday. We didn't. But, man, they were buying because they were there for so long watching that.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's crazy, though, Bill. Honest to God, it's like wherever the National High School Federation is, somebody was sitting in a room and wasn't thinking, like, let's do this. And honestly, it's going to be a crisis mode before we know it, again, like I said, because, again, there's going to be more plays involved, more chance for injury, all the stuff we're talking about here.
Never mind the athletes being out on that field for that long, too, which is going to cause, like you said, injuries. But, it definitely needs to be more conversation to know going into the season that the head coaches and the refs really weren't looking forward to this rule change that happened, not necessarily suddenly, but really without their blessing is a little disappointing as well.
I mean, you want to talk about some disappointments and some shaken heads. Burlington 30, Lawrence 22. Lawrence, now listen, we obviously we are slanted towards the MVC. For 2 quarters, it was looking like a phenomenal start to the season for the Lancers. Jacob Tamayo was amazing. Had to leave the game with leg cramping for a couple quarters. Came back in for the final drive, but Lawrence led through a lot of the game. The Red Devils took the lead back with 2:10 left in the game. The final quarter, marred by controversies, Lawrence was called for 4 personal fouls in the fourth. I believe it was 7 total for the game. And head coach for Randy from Lawrence was just not a happy camper after that game. You want to pump up your guys, but that felt like one that got away, and one that might have been too much influenced by the officiating crew.
Oh, so go to officials and automatically have to be big, though. You need me to talk here.
I got nothing for you.
None of us were at the game, so it's tough to say what's right and what's wrong. But 8 personal fouls in a game, you're not going to win many football games doing that. If I can do the math right, 8 times 15 is a lot of yards, okay? It's a lot of yards to give up. That's like 2 drives, basically. And you just can't allow a team basically 2 drives and get away with it. And, look, discipline is discipline, and if they're deserving penalties, then I almost want to give the officials credit if they are deserving for at least being consistent and saying, look, we're not going to put up with it. But if I hate to give officials credit, so I will say that oftentimes they start to get a little bit over officious, and then things like that happen. I don't know. I would have to stick with them too.
But let's put it in perspective. What did we just talk about in the opening of the show? Week 1, you're going to have the mistakes. Week 1, the coaches don't really have a track record of knowing how the kids are going to handle. But also the officials. These are new crews. Yep, they practice a little bit, but to me, to keep the game in control when there's a questionable call like that, or what I don't want to see though is if those are showboating calls or a taunting or something like that. That would be disappointing, especially in week 1 where we should be working with the high school kids to let them enjoy the game and all that. But if they were personal fouls, late hit, things like that, that's where a game gets out of control, and you got to keep those games in control. And that's been Lawrence's track record. They've had the athletes, they've been able to be competitive, but it's the penalties that have hurt them year in and year out.
Dewey Baez, a 4-yard touchdown on the running back. Burlington took a 14-6 lead. Lawrence came right back. Gianni Vargas broke off 3 straight carries for 42 yards, and then Tamayo found Isaiah Richards for a 6-yard touchdown. Overall, Tamayo for the game, 9 for 11, 120 yards in the first half. That was the bulk of the game for him. But a lot of positives, I guess. You don't want to lose the game that way. You want to start the season right, but a lot of positive things to look at for the Lancers there. All right, so
I got a quick question for Hector. Hector, I'm just going through, and I know our notes that Tim was nice enough to supply to us today. But Jacob Rivers Lowell, 80-yard kickoff return. Freddie Gavin, 78-yard kickoff return. Zach Bergeron from Methuen, 60-yard punt return. Nick Donadio,
right through the end. Not a game you want to let get through, Hector.
Coaches talk about it, learning to win, and he's Harrington's a sophomore QB, correct? So it's going to take a little bit of time to learn to win this. It was a team that it took some lumps last year, and I just think that maybe that's a learned behavior. You go from not being competitive to being competitive to winning, and maybe Ando was making that move from being competitive to winning, and it's just a learning process. There's no doubt the Harrington kid as a freshman, you watched him a couple times, he made some serious throws.
Oh, yeah.
So the ability is there, and he's only going to get better with time. So that's it'd be interesting to watch as he develops, because that's a team that'll probably be one of those teams that'll be much better in November than it is in September.
And if anybody's going to coach him up, it's going to be E.J. Perry. So,
they're going to score.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to score points. I think, per usual, it's going to come down to them stopping people. They haven't been able to stop really good teams in the past few years. I think if they can stop people enough, they're going to score points.
So would we agree, though, that based on the whole weekend, North Andover losing on Friday and Central winning in such a fashion on Saturday were probably the two biggest, I don't want to say surprise, but the biggest highlights coming out of the weekend?
All right, so a couple other quick results. We take a quick break here. Also, so Acton Boxborough beat Chelmsford 34-15. Tough start for Chelmsford under new head coach George Peterson, but some positives to play off for sure, but a little slow start for Chelmsford.
Being down a little bit.
Scaffus 7 for 12, 113 yards, hit Jaden Johnson for a 35-yard touchdown strike, and then Jabari Baptiste 17 carries, 84 yards, a 7-yard touchdown run for the Phillies.
And Bill, they were chasing. They only threw 12 passes. That to me says, maybe that's something. We're down. That's a good team over there. Let's get better, learn our lessons, but let's not give anything away with league opponents coming up.
I 100% agree with you. When you're down like that, you should be throwing more, But I think you're right. Each week they don't want to show anything, and I think that all started with the Tewksbury coach Elwood. He is a master of each week having a different game plan for a different MVC opponent. So I think you're gonna see that week in and week out. And isn't that why we're here? Isn't that why a show like this is gonna be popular? Because we're definitely seeing MVC team matchups. I'm picking them up next week. Central Catholic, St. John, Methuen, Tewksbury. Each week it's like a game of the week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, it's too bad Methuen Tewksbury this early.
I know.
But they have to beat sometime. That'll be a Saturday afternoon, obviously, because you're in Tux.
You got it.
And that's never a fun place to play on Saturday afternoons. It's traditionally probably one of the great. People saying this is our year.
Yeah, I think they also had a tough senior class that left last year. When you lose pretty much your entire line, Anthony Romano was a starting tackle. He's now a tight end. You lose your center Aaron Surf, who's now at WPI playing fullback. It's hard to say because they don't get to reload like St. John's, like Central does. They don't have that depth, and that's not me being a smart guy. It's a fact. So when you have a junior class that isn't as here, other schools have that. So I think they have some serious skill position. Coach mentioned Sammy Kalivas, a sophomore center. When you start going against a 18-year-old senior against Lowell or Central, it's going to be a challenge. So they definitely have the position to have a great year, but there's definitely some things they're going to have to figure out as far as each week to make sure that they cut down on the mistakes and have just solid games. And when you have young kids in there like that, things definitely happen. So I obviously I'm a little close to it. It's my kid's senior year. Kareem Coleman, Nick Matthew, we're not talking about Mark Martino, who sat out week one, with I think a precautionary move. This is a kid who sophomore year was getting reps in varsity as a running back, tore his ACL. And I have not seen a young man go from, a 4.6 40 to a 5.1 40 back down to a 4.65. That kid last year absolutely worked his tail off. And if there's a chance that he could carry them in some games, so when you have Bergeron and Martino, Romano, Connor Bryant, that's going to be an offensively a tough team to stop as long as the line does their job. So yeah, they're going to be a tough game week in and week out. But as you said, Hector, the opponents in the MVC are ready each and every week. The coaching in the MVC is so solid. It's probably an undiscussed topic how good the coaches are in the MVC.
All right, guys, let's take a quick break. We will come back after the break with Central Catholic captain Mark Cassis. You are watching MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance. I want to tell you right now about a couple of our sponsors. AFC Urgent Care, huge thanks to Lisa Williams and the gang over there. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment, got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitches, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor. AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. Back here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by DeVille and DeFusco Insurance, Tim Wood, Hector Longo, Bill Bryant, and you. Thrilled to have with us right now on the line the one of the captains from Central Catholic, the Raiders, with a 52-42 win over Springfield Central yesterday. Mark Cassis, how are you, sir? Tim Wood, Hector, and Bill on the line, MVC Gridiron Weekly.
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. Guys, can you hear Mark okay?
It's kind of low on my end.
Okay, we'll work on that. So, Mark, give the first impressions on the win with a little bit of time here to digest it.
Our guys are really fired up. We had a great week of preparation for that team. They were really good. They were really talented. But we're really excited about the win. Very talented kid. I was impressed by his performance yesterday, but I knew he was definitely capable of it. I'm just really proud of him and how he stepped up yesterday. He was really big for us.
Hector, Bill, can you guys hear him? Guys?
Go ahead, Tim. What?
Did you hear Mark there?
It's coming out real soft.
All right. So, Mark, in terms of you guys jumped out, Springfield Central came back. Just tell us in terms of the mood as Springfield Central came back on you a little bit, as the Golden Eagles got back in that game. What were you feeling in terms of getting that win, pulling it out?
Our guys are fired up from the start. We knew how that first game of the year was going to be. It was a season-defying, just to get out there on the first game and to know that our guys had to fight them to keep going when adversity hits. That's really important for us. To know that the guys are going to step up in big situations, that's really important to us. And I'm just proud that we kept fighting and just never gave up when they answered back. We always had an answer for them. And I'm just really proud of our guys.
Mark, what's in terms of heading into this season? What are the biggest obstacles you think this team has to overcome? Some of the corrections that need to be made heading into next week's game versus St. John's Prep.
We lost a good senior class last year, some good leaders, so we just had to, as a senior class, we had to step up big and be a good example for the younger kids. We have obviously sophomore quarterback, and we're putting all of our trust in him, and he's giving him a lot of confidence. And going into the prep week, we have a lot to work on from the Springfield game. We have to do a better job of not letting up the big plays, and we just gotta get back on Monday and prepare as best as we can. We lost a lot of good linebackers last year. We need to step up in that aspect, but we've been working really hard with a group of kids, and we're going to get after it this week as much as we can and prepare for them as well as we could.
Talking with Mark Cassis from Central Catholic, the Raiders with a 52-42 win over Springfield Central Saturday. Mark, tell us some of those guys that may have been a little not in the box score, but that that you feel deserve some recognition for what they did yesterday.
Our whole offensive line stepped up big. They made my job a lot easier running the ball. I just saw the holes opening up. Nick Mueller, George Conley, Louis, Michael Sater, Jack Sullivan, they all stepped up big last night, and they don't appear in the box score, but they're really the reason why. They're the anchor of our team, and we're really grateful for them, because without them, just makes your job that much harder. And our D-line played very well last night. I mean, we got a lot to work on, but they fought hard against a really talented Springfield team, and they stepped up when the name was called. Even on special teams, we had a sophomore recover a kickoff yesterday on a fumble, and when your name gets called on, they're doing a good job stepping up in big situations, and I'm really proud of that.
Hey, Mark, give us. We talk about players. Give us a coach or two that some unsung heroes from yesterday, or unsung heroes. We always hear about Coach Chuck, but give us some unsung heroes on that staff.
Oh, Coach Fielding, the linebacker coach, he's one of the hardest working coaches I've ever been around. We had off-season workouts all summer. He just wanted to help this group of kids, improve on every aspect of the game. So Coach Fielding has really been a very important role in our team. He gets the boys fired up, ready to go. And obviously Coach Sexton does a great job with the offense, pairing us very well. They're really great coaches. Coach Leo does a great job with the secondary. And I mean, I could name them all. All the coaches are very important to the staff, and they prepare us very well each week for every opponent we have. There's a lot of behind the scenes, scouting, preparing in the classroom, all that stuff. They really help our team, in a big way.
Hector, Bill, can you hear? No.
We're not good, Tim.
What'd you say?
I'm not hearing him.
Okay, so I'll continue with Mark here again. Mark Cass is captain from Central Catholic. Mark, tell us just in terms of what this next week looks like. What's the week ahead of St. John's Prep look like for you guys?
It's gonna be another really tough challenge. They're a great team. They got us twice last year, but we're looking for a better outcome this time around. We're gonna have another great week of practice, and they're very physical up front, so we're gonna have to be just as physical, and we're gonna have to come ready to play once again on Saturday with a big chip on our shoulder.
Hey, Mark, huge thank you for joining us here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. Again, a big win for Central Catholic, 52-42. Hope to have you and a bunch of the guys back on throughout the season. Guys, even though you can't hear Mark, is there anything you want to get out to him? All right, Mark, we'll let you go for now. Huge thank you again for joining us here on MVC Gridiron Weekly.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure being on here.
All right, guys, that was Mark Cassis. Guys, can you hear me again?
Yes.
Yeah, here, Tim. We gotta find a way. Can we make it four-way? I know. The three of us make three wide a real strange proposition. I heard you say that earlier, Tim. But any chance you go quads here and get the youngins to Skype in? Because I'm sure they're a lot better at this technological thing than this old man is. I can tell you that for sure.
And never mind, they're going to look a hell of a lot better than the three of us.
One of these four doesn't belong here.
Yeah, seriously. So,
sweet listen, Jesus.
This is the first week. We're a little rusty. We'll get the technical difficulties figured out. I've gotten some texts from some of you. There's some reverberation, and we'll figure out the stream issues, the reverberation, and we'll get the phone line. And I talked to a bunch of coaches. I asked them, do you Skype? And it was like, is that a fish? That didn't quite land with the coaches.
So we need to talk to the team managers because these coaches are in their coaches' rooms and they're not coming out for the next 3 months. So we need to start talking to like our athletic directors, like Matt Curran, who does Skype, Instagram, Facebook. He's all over the media wave. So maybe that's like a nice email because I think it would look much better to have these kids on the screen and get my mug off there.
Oh, without a doubt, we will. Having the video capabilities now, having the Skype capabilities, it's all about bandwidth. But if they got a strong connection, we can definitely get them on. So we will work with the coaches, the athletic directors throughout the season, get some more players on, get some coaches on. We will work on the coaches as well. Huge thank you to Mark for joining us.
And I'm sorry, I do have to cut out. I have a hard stop at 11:05 that I have a previous engagement that will not happen again moving forward. So I am going to let you and Hector kind of wrap up the show.
Great. That's so nice of you.
Isn't it? That's really nice. So we'll let Bill head to the links, and we will come back after the break. Here, we'll come back. We'll get John Florence on the line here very shortly. We will bring him in right after the break here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance.
All right. Thanks, guys. Hey, give John a nice shout out for me. He's got a new position at in Lowell. So actually, John and I are working together at my position at Crest, and so that's been a little funny. So I'm looking forward to working with him, and don't look forward to that first week against or that week at Methuen against Lowell.
All right, Bill.
Take it easy, gentlemen.
We're cutting him out of the conversation. More screen for us, Hector.
That's.
We'll take a quick break. We'll get John Florence on the line. We'll do that all right after the break here on MVC Gridiron Weekly.
Grab him next week or something and just wrap this thing up simply because technically I don't know if it's going to work. Like, I don't know. Can you hear, if you can hear him on the, if you can hear the kid going out, you just do the interview. That's fine. But I'm just wondering if you can hear it on the thing. We're at 70 minutes actually anyways of closing in on it. So.
Back here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance. Having a little technical difficulties with the phone line, live streaming, live radio. It happens, but we will get that corrected. So we're going to do an interview. We're going to do an interview with John Florence right after the show. We will do that. We will post it on MVC Gridiron Weekly. on Twitter and on Facebook. Hector, want to go through the week one standouts here in terms of the big performances. I'll start with Jacob Rivers from Lowell. Jacob Drake transferred, went for 2 touchdowns, 80-yard kickoff return in his Lowell debut. Also very strong in the secondary. Najee Neal, 2 touchdown passes, 46-yard scoring run on the Red Raiders' opening drive. You want to switch off on these, Hector?
I'll take the next game. You handle Lowell Billerica.
What'd you say?
I'll take the next game. You handle Lowell Billerica.
You got it. Low defense, key interception to end the Billerica drive in the second quarter. Kyle Shanahan, Louis Kadim, Jeremiah Santana, George Dristilius, Dristieris, Benjamin Zame, all helped lead the way on defense for Lowell. Brian Hamilton for Billerica, 2 touchdown runs, a 2-point conversion for the Indians, and Nolan Houlihan, star quarterback, a 52-yard touchdown pass to Colby Cyrus.
So 3 tough losses for 3 of the MVC teams, and that does not mean there weren't great performances. And Andover's loss to Franklin, Josh Ramos carried 31 times for 149 yards with 3 TDs. Victor Harrington threw a couple of TD passes with 105 yards passing. Defensively, Mike Slayton had a big day, knocking people around from the edge spot, outside linebacker, defensive end spot. North Andover, which was trying to place not only Jake McElroy and Darren Watson, but Gabe D'Souza, whose name finally came to my attention, my mind here after 50 minutes of brain freeze. Freddie Gavin had a big day for the Knights. You can expect a lot more of that to happen. 16 carries, 86 yards, a couple TDs, and a kick return touchdown. For Lawrence, in the tough loss to Burlington, Jacob Tamayo missed a couple quarters, but still managed to go 11 for 15 through a couple TD passes, 145 yards. Dewey Baez had a 4-yard TD run, and he forced a fumble on defense. How about you go grab the Bethune game, Tim?
Absolutely. So you got, did you get Lawrence?
I did.
All right, awesome. Manny Lara. And so Connor Bryant from Methuen, 5 for 9, 101 yards, TD pass, 10 carries, 68 yards, 2 touchdowns rushing. He's got a new QB coach in Kendrick Denos. Denosi or Denos, Hector?
Right. I think it's Denos.
Denos threw for 966 and 10 TDs in his senior year and ran for another 1,265 yards and 20 touchdowns. So he knows a little bit about the multifaceted quarterback. Should be a help to Bryant there. Nick Matthew, 69-yard reception, a key interception for the Rangers. Bill mentioned him. Anthony Romano, 16 tackles overall, 5 tackles for a loss, leading the defense that held Malden Catholic to 19 yards in the second half.
Mm-hmm. So in Central Catholic's big win, you put up 52 points. You're going to have some offensive stars. Aiden Pereira, the sophomore quarterback, threw for 277 yards on 14 of 16 with 3 touchdowns. I'm pretty sure passer rating if you grabbed your NFL passing calculator and trying to figure that one out. He also ran for 3 TDs and 86 yards. Nick Donadio had a kick return for touchdown, had a big run on a return. Jermaine Wiggins, 4 catches for 62 yards and a TD. Mark Cassis, a 9-yard TD run and 73 yards rushing.
In the Tewksbury game, Shane Aylward, 2 TD runs, a 90-yard kick return touchdown. Ryan Remetta, we mentioned the new quarterback, 9 for 12, 132 yards, a 40-yard touchdown run, a touchdown pass to Nolan Timmons, and the Red Men defense racked up 4 sacks, as we mentioned. Patrick Flemings, Richard Markworth, Owen Gilligan, and Kyle Skrook with the big plays for Tewksbury.
And rounding it up with the last couple of games, in Chelmsford's loss, Brett Baker had a 5-yard TD pass to Mike Lapoli. Aiden Scott threw a 10-yard TD pass to Matt Lefebvre. And then for Haverhill, Brady Scaffis was 7 of 12 for 113 yards with the TD to Jaden Johnson. Now, Tim, we do all these stars of the week. Does that mean the poll is back?
The poll is back. Great segue. Not even planned. Great segue, Hector. It is actually already up on the MVC Gridiron Weekly Twitter account. That's MVC Gridiron Week. You can vote on the poll right now. We've had it up since last night, about 215 votes right now. It's between Aiden Pereira from Central Catholic, Jacob Rivers from Lowell, Zach Bergeron from Methuen, and Shane Aylward from Tewksbury. Right now, with 215 votes overnight, Aiden Pereira is leading the way with 32%, right behind Jacob Rivers 28%, Zach Bergeron 20%, and Shane Aylward 20%. So if you want to get your guy in there as our Week 1 MVP, get on our Twitter at MVC Gridiron Week and vote. So yes, the poll is back up. We'll talk about the Week 1 winner on next week's show, and we'll announce that online probably Wednesday. We'll close the poll on Tuesday or Wednesday. So heading into Week 2, as we put
in North Andover, again, kind of a separator in league game early. You figure that North Andover has a little bounce back in them after Week 1. So I think both of those two games are pretty good ones to watch.
Saturday's games: Methuen at Tewksbury, St. John's Prep at Central Catholic, Chelmsford at Haverhill. We talked a little bit about St. John's Prep at Central Catholic. Methuen at Tewksbury has been a battle, especially the last 2 years. Any early predictions?
No, I'm not going to make a prediction on the game, Tim, but honest to God, that's like, that you're right. It has become a great little rivalry. Now, to be a rivalry, you have to beat the other team a couple times, and I'm not sure Methuen has been that successful. This has kind of been one that Tewksbury has owned over the years.
Last
lately,
2 years have been heartbreakers, though, Hector. I mean,
right? So
they've been up late, and Tewksbury's pulled it out.
You can get to the mountaintop, but you gotta, you have to get over it too. You gotta climb over the wall. You can't just sit up the top. So it'll be interesting for Methuen. Again, that's a big game for them, confidence wise early in the season.
Without a doubt. So, final thoughts here as we wrap up the first show, Hector?
Okay, so we have to get better, and I'm counting on us to do that. It was a little late start this year. We're going to get better, but I think as the football teams progress and get better, the season's going to get a little bit more interesting, and we're going to be on top of our game. So, Tim, I'm very happy with Week 1.
Absolutely. Huge thank you for joining us, everybody. Kind of, as Hector said, for a variety of reasons. We're just happy to be here.
Spread the word. Sure. Right, let them know. Let them know we're here.
Absolutely. Spread the word. Spread the word. We're thrilled to be back for Season 2, and we will absolutely strive to get better and like I said, we want to make sure, just because of technical difficulties, that we make sure that we get Coach John Florence done correctly. So I'll do that interview right after the show here, and we'll post it very shortly online. So for Hector Longo, Bill Bryant, Tim Wood, a huge thank you to everybody, Matt Curran, Carmine from the Lowell Sun, a few more folks throughout the season that will get in the mix. lot of folks interested in MVC football. Some new ventures out there that we've already started reaching out to and working with, and we'll get it all connected here as we go on through the season. But an exciting first full week of action here for all the teams in the MVC. Looking forward to next week's games. We will have it all covered next Sunday, 10 a.m. here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by DeVille and Tefusco Insurance. Have a great week, everybody. And remember, vote on the poll at Twitter at MVC Gridiron Weekly.com.